What's up, everybody? So I'm getting ready for a gig and I'm going to be taking apart my little setup here, which I used in my Red Bull 3Style 10 application submission routine, which is that 5-minute long video. And I wanted to do a little walkthrough of how I set everything up here. Some people actually saw me posting about me working on the video that I did to try to compete for this year's main competition for Red Bull 3Style. They asked me, you already have a title, why are you competing in the main competition? Well, the reason is because whenever, like 4 years ago when I did my first submission for Red Bull 3Style, it kept me practicing. It kept me trying to come up with routines, and it's motivating for me to come up with new stuff because I have a competition to do it for. And because of that, whether I get in or not, it's just a goal I can have just to keep pushing myself, to keep coming up with new ways to perform. And for those of you guys who saw that video, you saw that I used my guitar in that little routine. We're not absolutely sure if that's within the scopes of the rules. The rules say that you can have up to 2 MIDI devices. And my guitar effects processor is a MIDI device technically, and you need a input source to use this MIDI device, which is a guitar. And as they're advertising and encouraging folks to join 3Style, to compete in 3Style, they keep posting these videos like a dude playing drums during his set at one of the competitions, and we saw another guy using a guitar. So at the time of this video, I'm still wondering if they will accept, reject, or disqualify my routine. Hopefully they don't disqualify it. If they reject it, I'm gonna have to come up with something better next year. So for my DJ gear, I'm actually using a controller, and in the rules, it says you can use a DJ controller. So I'm using a DDJ SB3. A lot of you guys know I have one with Serato DJ Pro. And also I am using a Boss GT1 guitar effects processor. This is where my guitar sounds come from. It simulates the amplifiers and it lets me plug in to a line input. And where's this all plugged in? I actually have it plugged in, and I wasn't performing with this. This is just my device where I'm mixing the two. I have a DJM 900 Nexus 2, and I have the SB3 in channel 3. I have the guitar, the GT1, plugged into channel 4. And one of the things a lot of people don't know about the DJM 900 Nexus 2, it's also a sound interface, and you can use it in Ableton. And the reason why I have Ableton open on my MacBook Air is because when I was performing this routine, you know, there's no inputs on the SB3. I wanted to record the SB3, all the music I'm quote unquote DJing, and record the guitar parts separately. The reason why I did that is because I like to play the guitar a little louder than would be pleasantly acceptable over the music so I can really hear it. And when I multi-track it, I just want to be able to cut the volume down on the guitar. So I'm not performing with this. I didn't do any crazy editing. All I did was record it in multi-track just so I could back off on the guitar. And also channel 1 is used for the master output of Ableton Live. So the thing about the 900 is that its routing to the software is post-channel fader. So in order for me to mute these channels is I took the crossfader, set it to B, set the crossfader to A, and then I get 100% Ableton only signal here. And I have it like set to like 64 samples on the buffer, and it sounds just fine on the MacBook Air. In fact, my MacBook Air is so clean that I could set the buffer down that low, as opposed to the glitchiness that I get from my MacBook Pro, because I got too much stuff on there. Now the GT1, I'm using a patch where I even called it Sad But True, which was the first song. Just using something that sounds like a 5150 amplifier from Eddie Van Halen. This thing is actually a digital wireless device. This is the receiver end, and I have the other end on my guitar over here, and I actually used it in that video. It wasn't that visible. But the reason why I'm using this brand, which is a Moon, is the fact that this specific model doesn't get interference from my Wi-Fi. I used to have the X-Vive one. I'm gonna do a review on this and explain all that, but basically this works better than the X-Vive one, and it's almost half the price. This little setup only costs $60. Supposedly it has 300 feet. I'm gonna try it at a gig tonight. But yeah, this is what I was using so that I'm not tangling myself with wires with the guitar. Now, just going over through the music, you know, the first song is that Turn Down for What versus Sad But True mashup. I actually made that. And what I mean by I made that is that I took that remix of Sad By True by Sign, S-Y-N, and mashed it up with Turn Down for What. I know Turn Down for What is kind of a played out song, but it was just something that was in my head that I thought would be a hype start, and whether it's for 3Style or not, it's something that is a great intro because of the guitar parts that I'm adding to it, and it's a little different from what most people are used to hearing, so. Now, for the scratch part, my first scratch part, you could hear that I added a little bit of reverb to it. So I had a reverb, which is called Epic Verb Drop, and I have that on Bank 1. I actually have that on both decks for Bank 1. So when I have the scratch sample, I actually had a little bit of reverb on there, just to give it a little bit of more of a lush sound so it doesn't sound so dry. Now, another part I did was I did a tone play of the song Can't Bring Me Down by Quintino. And I did this tone play without the track playing, and I used the Epic Verb Drop, that reverb, and I had this on Pioneer XDJs. It's called gating, and that's what it's also called in the SB16. But basically, instead of the track playing and you're triggering the hot cues, I actually had it on stop, and I was triggering them from a dead stop. So when I let go, the hot cue stops. I think I even, yeah, I cut the bass out on that so it doesn't sound so muddy when I did the tone play. Now for the track where I took the controller and lifted it up and started doing hot cue button scratching, or actually cue button scratching using the hot cues to change it. The things I did, I covered this in a really, really old video. The way I did that was, first I queued up the sample, the first sample I wanted to do, which is hot cue number 5. I used the Epic Verb Drop to get some reverb, and the way I played with the pitch was like this. I turned off the key lock, and then I set the tempo range, you can see it here, to 50%. Unfortunately, on some entry-level controllers, the widest you could go is 50%. And that's how I got that super wide range. Key lock has to be off. And basically, the reason why I didn't use the rubber pads is because they're a little harder. What I would do is I would hit the hot cue that I want, click the cue button, the temporary cue button, and then I could easily trigger that cue button like, and then I use the pitch to just variate the sounds. So yeah, guys, that was my simple setup here for my Red Bull 3Style 10 submission video. Hopefully we find out soon if I was accepted, rejected, or disqualified. But I wanted to do something different, and it was really, really fun doing this routine, and tonight I'm gonna try it for the first time in front of people. All right, guys, well, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. And if you really like this video, be sure to click that like button. If it's your first time here and you found this video useful, be sure to click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that little bell icon right next to it so you get a notification. I can never say that word right. A notification the next time I upload a video. All right, guys, thanks for watching.